Welcome, Kirkwood, to the final KHTV broadcast of the year.
Wait, I thought it was the first broadcast of the year.
It's both.
Ah.
Anyway, hi, I'm Landon Call.
And I'm Miles Boyko.
It's almost summer, and many people want to get back to traveling. I know I am.
Here's Erika and I with how Kirkwood students feel about summer traveling during the pandemic.
All right, we're here with Tess. And Tess, are you going on vacation over the summer?
Yes, I am. I am going to South Dakota.
Oh, for how long?
I'm not really sure. I know it's in late July, probably for about a week.
If I were vaccinated, maybe. I mean, if I had nothing going on during the summer, then I definitely would go visit people that I haven't seen in a while, but that would also be a maybe, but I would have a higher probability of going places if I were vaccinated than if I were not. I think it can be, but you have to do your part, and like the airline has to do their part. So if the airline's trying to be safe and trying to tell people put your mask over your nose, and when you're eating, just, eat and then put your mask over. And if people don't do that, then airlines won't be safe. But if, the people and the airline both try and do things to make the airline safe, then it can be pretty safe. But I mean, there's always, risks that you're taking.
Okay, we're here with Akia. And Akia, do you think the air travel is safe now?
I actually don't think that air travel is very safe for anyone at the moment. There's so many people with coronavirus and herpes going on the planes, spreading all the germs. I just don't think it's very safe.
Okay. All right, we're here with Addie. And Addie, are you going on vacation over the summer?
Yes, I'm going to Chicago with my family for my birthday weekend, just for a week, and we're gonna go fishing at the lake and things like that.
Thanks for that, guys. We hope everyone has a safe travels over the summer.
Now, before summer break can start, students must first go through the finals. But this year, finals look a bit different.
Liv and I asked around Kirkwood to see how students feel for preparing for finals.
I feel somewhat prepared, but I also much less prepared than I had felt in previous years, because this year's been it's been a lot harder to retain information.
So I think I'm pretty prepared, although I don't exactly know how all the finals are going to work. I'm not even having finals in some classes. Some classes, the AP test that I already took was the final. Some classes, it's optional. It's different in every class, but for the most part, for the classes at least I know I'm doing a final in, I feel pretty good about them.
For final exams, I mean, it's always been like a test of mental preparation for me, because I can study as hard as I want and still do pretty terrible on my exams. So it's how can I psychologically prepare for a test that's everything I've learned over the school year. So that's probably be the extent of what I do. Yeah. I'll probably meet with teachers, see what to expect, whether I've got a final project, a final exam, or both.
A lot of my teachers aren't having finals or making finals optional, which definitely helps, because then I don't have to prepare for finals. But the classes that I do have finals in, we just kind of get final reviews, and we spend a lot of time at the end of the year going over that material.
So our teachers kind of expected that we wouldn't have a full grasp on the full content of the class, as the first half of the year was online and some people are online, some were in person. So a lot of the teachers have changed the final itself rather than preparing us more for it, and then prepared us for their specific interpretation of their class's final. And I do find that helpful. A lot of the finals that I know I have are kind of tailored to a certain portion of the year that the teacher knows everybody understood well.
This might seem like a bit of a call out, but they haven't done much. I've just kind of been told what I'm going to have, whether or not I'm going to have an exam. And if I do have an exam, they haven't really told us what's going to be on it. And they've just been kind of, pushing us to finish strong. But it feels as though there's a lack of determination to prepare us.
I have optional exams in chemistry, and I as far as I know, that's the only one that's optional this year.
So I know that my honors bio class has an optional final, and in my civil engineering and architecture class, the final isn't optional, but we can choose whether for the grade to count or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've got an optional exam in English, and I'm going to take it mostly because the alternative is a project, and projects are just so terribly boring. And because it's, about a book, I don't think many people want to do a project about a book, so I'm going to be taking the test.
Okay.
It's been very difficult this year to learn fully online, so not as well as I did last year.
I mean, I think I'll do fine. I am not expecting to get hundreds or perfect scores by any means, but I also don't expect to fail them. I think I'll do average, above average a little bit on them.
For each class, it's going to vary. I've done pretty well this semester, so I think I'm going to score pretty highly. But again, it all comes down to my preparedness.
Probably, but as of right now, I don't have any specific plans.
I mean, maybe. I'm vaccinated now, so hopefully this summer will be better than the last one. So when finals are over, that's kind of when school's over, and it'll feel just so good to start summer for the first time in 2 years.
If I do well, we'll see. But if I do terribly, no. Maybe I'll go to summer school. That'll be my celebration.
Great story, and good luck on finals, everyone.
Summer is full of fantastic treats, like blue raspberry popsicles.
I never got why we have flavors like blue raspberry in the first place. I mean, I've never actually seen a blue raspberry.
Well, luckily, I talked about the strange story of how we got blue raspberry. Another Halloween has come and gone, but chances are you still have candy left. And there is one flavor that has been argued about more than almost any other flavor. Blue raspberry. The artificial flavor that turns your tongue an unnatural blue color. And while you've probably tasted a sugary treat that was flavored blue raspberry, few people actually know how we got the flavor. Blue raspberry was born in the 1970s during a food scare. See, in 1976, the Soviet Union came out with a shocking announcement that the dye, red number 2, causes cancer in rats. And, probably for the only time in our history, the United States listened, causing anything red to come off the shelves, including red M&Ms, even though they never actually contained the dye, red number 2. This new food scare was really bad for raspberry-flavored candies, because red number 2 was the main dye used in coloring anything raspberry flavored. And let's face it, nobody wants candy that does not have dyes in it. But in the midst of this crisis, 2 companies found a new flavor to market using the raspberry flavor with a different dye. Both Icy and Otter Pops claim to be the first to put blue number 1 dyes into their products, creating the new flavor blue raspberry. But no matter which company started, the idea quickly took off, and companies all over started using blue raspberry flavoring dyed with blue number 1 to avert the controversy surrounding red number 2. And blue raspberry has remained popular to this day. According to the website Bon Appetit, we drink 132 million 16-ounce cups of blue raspberry ices each year. And many companies have it as one of their main flavors. Eventually, companies started using red number 40 as their raspberry flavor dye. But now there's a new controversy, as studies have shown that that dye can cause mental disorders. And any dye really isn't safe, because one of the main ingredients in it is petroleum. My favorite part of this story is the fact that in the United States, it is illegal to use the dye red number 2 to color cosmetics and candies. But in Europe, the dye is popular. In fact, many European countries have more restrictions on red number 40. And that study that the Soviet Union released, that red number 2 caused cancer in rats, has never been proven right or wrong. So technically, we don't even know if the dye whose supposed carcinogenic qualities created the flavor blue raspberry is actually dangerous. But no matter the dye that is used in your candies, or if you like the flavor, you have to agree that blue raspberry has an interesting history.
Speaking of summer treats, what fast food drive-thru do you think is the best?
I really like Chick-fil-A's drive-thru.
Well, here's to Mia Risch with judging all of Kirkwood's drive-thrus.
If I'm like anybody else, I can say with complete certainty that most people love fast food restaurants. Not necessarily that they like them all, but people definitely like fast food. So I decided, wouldn't it be fun if I went around to different fast food places and just tested them to see how fast they were or how accurate they were. I went to 6 different fast food places, and here are the results. The first fast food place that I decided to go to was Chick-fil-A, and while I do love their food, their stats didn't turn out so well. The time it took waiting to order was 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and then the time from ordering to receiving that food was 2 minutes and 49 seconds, so that added up to a total of 10 minutes and 19 seconds waiting to get my food. Well, that's a little daunting from how long that took. They were 100% accurate, so at least that's something you can look forward to at Chick-fil-A. Next up was Lion's Choice, and they did a lot better on time, mainly because they were less crowded. The time we waited until we could order was 21 seconds, only because that's how long it took to actually drive up to the window. No one was in line. The time from ordering to receiving food was 3 minutes and 21 seconds. And so the total time was 3 minutes and 42 seconds. As for accuracy, they didn't hit as hard as Chick-fil-A because they tried to send us off without our sandwiches, and while it may have been a mistake, it still gets docked a few points for accuracy, so I gave it a 95%. We still got all of our food, so it was all good. The third fast food place that I went to was McDonald's in Kirkwood. The time waiting to order was only 30 seconds and no one was in line. It just took little for the people to actually say something over the speaker. The time waiting from ordering to receiving the food was 3 minutes and 3 seconds, which added up to a total of 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Along with that quick time, the accuracy was 100%. So shockingly, McDonald's came through and so far did the best. My fourth destination was the Cane's in Kirkwood. The time it took to wait to order was 1 minute and 16 seconds, and the time from ordering to receiving the food was 2 minutes and 21 seconds, bringing the total time to 3 minutes and 37 seconds. While it was almost as fast as McDonald's, just losing out by about 4 seconds, their accuracy did not live up to McDonald's, as it was only an 85% since they forgot to include the Texas toast that came with the meal, and calculating that out was about 85% correct. So while they were pretty fast, they did get a part of it wrong, bringing the accuracy down. My fifth stop was Culver's, and overall, they didn't do very well. The time it took to wait to order was 1 minute and 22 seconds. The time from ordering to receiving food was 4 minutes and 43 seconds, and the total time was 6 minutes and 5 seconds, so they didn't move very quickly. Along with that, the accuracy was only an 83% about because they completely forgot my sandwich, and when we checked in the car in the parking lot, we didn't have it, so we had to go in and ask for it. Overall, their stats didn't turn out so great. The final place we decided to go to was Taco Bell, and for how little people were in that line, their stats did not turn out half as good as I thought they were going to be. The time waiting to order was 1 minute and 34 seconds, but then the time from ordering to receiving food was 5 minutes and 42 seconds, making the total time 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Along with that, we only had 4 items in our order, and they forgot one of them, so they only got a 75% on accuracy. They also forgot a receipt, so that's not shown at the end either. Taco Bell did not do very good. Looking at all the information I've gathered, you can conclude that, at least in this round, McDonald's came out on top, being the fastest and tied for most accurate with Chick-fil-A. Overall, this probably won't affect where people go for fast food because everyone has their cravings, but I thought it was just a little fun experiment to see which fast food places would be faster and more accurate than others.
That does it for our final announcements.
See you next year, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors.
And congratulations to all the graduating seniors in this turbulent year.
Bye.